Welcome to the Dojo. It's Sensei Tosh, and today I want to take a little time to slow down and talk about training specifically. We've talked already about what is onboarding, training, apprenticing, but I want to talk about training because I've heard this 3 different times this week in particular. Training is the hard skills of a position in the organization. It's the exact how-to. It's the mechanics of operating that piece of equipment, whether it be telephones, EHRs, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be technically a piece of equipment, but the technical skills on how to do the job that that person is performing. So what is needed in training? What's needed in training is policies and procedures. What is the rules of engagement and how this functions? There's a job description, but beyond the job description has to be the recipe. And that is going to be your standard operating procedures. It's going to have a purpose. Why does this standard operating procedure exist? And then exactly how to carry out the functions of this particular thing. So you should have a standard operating procedure for the phone. You should have a standard operating procedure for how to check voicemail. You should have a standard operating procedure for how to use the fax machine, a standard operating procedure on how to disseminate or get mail or email out to the right people. So literally everything, think about it from the perspective of if you're a provider, everything that you do during your encounter with a patient has a CPT code associated with it. The CPT code is a descriptor of what you are performing. That is the same thing as an SOP when it comes to training in the workplace. So it's like, there's an SOP on how to do mail. There's an SOP on everything, even like how to change the toilet paper, to the paper towel, to the dish soap that's maybe on your sink. There's an SOP written for everything in your organization. And if you're not doing that, you're setting yourself up for failure. People are going to keep coming to you and saying, well, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And how do I do this? And nobody showed me how to do that. So get training module set up for your office. I encourage you to have written SOPs, video SOPs, and then making sure that those include pictures as well. Have a main training hub. I love Google because it has so many different things as far as documents and spreadsheets. And so you have a Google Drive where all of that resides. Get it organized. When somebody learns something new, the phrase see one, do one, teach one, that's part of training. See how it's done, do it yourself. Now teach me back what I just showed you. And the teaching portion also is, great, now write an SOP for that. Then you look at it, and if it's good, then that SOP goes into, let's say it's the front desk, or it's the marketing, or it's the medical, or it's the case management. So have SOP folders for each thing. So it's easy for your team members to find that for training. Again, that should include written. It should include video or audio recordings, depending on what it is that you're training on the person. And then really important is that you have a training checklist. Many times when I coach staff members, they tell me, well, nobody showed me how to do that. I don't know how to do that. There's nothing written for that. Well, if you have a training check sheet, it's the competencies of that position. Some of these competencies check sheets or training check sheets can be 50 different items where you as the trainer and them as the employee both initial off. So that's never a question. It's like, yeah, we actually went over this and you were checked off on it on October 15th. Like, oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right. You did show me that. So, we're not going to talk about apprenticing today, but the training portion is important. And think of like, I was an athletic trainer. There's a training room. Why? We're doing rehabilitative services. Or as an athlete, there's training time. You're going out, you're fielding balls, you're hitting balls, or you're working out in the gym. You're training your body to perform, or you're training your mind to perform in the job. So this is why we've opened up the Team Dojo. It is a place for practicing the way. That's what dojo means. It's such a beautiful thing. It's practicing the way. So we have practicing the way, whether you're a front desk person, practicing the way if you're a marketing person, and practicing the way if you're a salesperson. So please utilize the dojo to come in and learn and train and develop your skills. So that is the importance of training. Most of you guys leave off on the onboarding process, like, hey, welcome to the team. Here's the employee handbook. This is where you clock in. This is where you clock out. This is where you put your stuff. And here's the job description. You worked in another chiropractic office before. Good. You guys good? Okay, that's great. No, it's not. No, it's not. And, we just literally did a thing for Monday Wake Up is on teamwork. Okay. Training is also allowing for people to contribute to having successful teams through teamwork and collaboration. So make sure that you have an official trainer for that position. It could be the person who's working that. It could be you as the executive, but that you're intentional to train this person. And that's going to take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on what the job is. But give people the fair shake, train them correctly so that they can get up and on their position and handling the KPI that's assigned to them and massively producing. So if you want people to be successful and not have a revolving door, spend the time to train them. It's simple. So we'll see you next time.